In order to protect, and it says so, in order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past period of a year under the various tariff authorities. So we can use other of the statutes, other of the tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies.
Well, there was some news
double,
this
triple.
morning.
What's that about, Eric? Whoa, double secret probation, bro.
It appears that he read something in the ruling that he decided
Technical
to
foul number 23, Deion Sanders. What did he got, Eric? What did he find there?
I think Gorsuch, I'm not sure. There was multiple opinions, and I haven't even got through them. Like the original opinion's 170 pages, and I was on with the lawyers earlier. Nobody had a chance to get through it all, but not everybody's agreeing. So I think he was looking inside of there with his advisors and going, okay, so what can we do now? And he's saying, okay, well, I can do that. I can do this. I can do this. I can do that. So he's probably
Make a hat. Make a brooch. Yeah, I've got to do something because at the end, what Gorsuch indicated, which I didn't even think about in the dissent, it was Gorsuch's dissent, right? He dissented.
Thomas,
Kavanaugh. I'm sorry, Kavanaugh. I was reading Kavanaugh's dissent. And right? Oh, yeah.
Well, Thomas had a dissent too, if I recall. Anyway,
well, the three. I'm saying the lead dissenter, whoever that was. I think it was Kavanaugh. He said the money has to go back now. Not that he was encouraging it. He said, he said, this is going to make a gigantic mess because everybody's going to demand, rightfully so, their money back. Billions and billions and billions of dollars being sucked out of the nation, bringing us to the brink of 1929. He points that out as one of the side, and he says it's going to be a giant mess. This is the last line of his dissent. So he didn't address that today because he's going full steam ahead. But if this plays out logically the way they are insisting it play out, the people are going to demand their money back of these foreign entities. And they'll be obligated to give it back.
Right. And we were talking about that earlier today, and it's one of my concerns because, we're so concerned about the citizens, supposedly. So let's break it down here. Tariffs come in, and the argument is that, okay, tariffs are levied on the companies that are importing the items. So then the companies, what do they do with it? Well, then they raise their prices and charge the consumer. The consumer is the American.
Consumer can avoid buying it too. It doesn't mean
that might be, but the point is, let me spell it out, please. The public is actually paying for it. The citizens are paying for it. So ultimately, the people paying for the tariffs, however you break it down, is the American consumer.
I completely disagree with you. I don't think the American consumer has to go in and buy a Toyota Land Cruiser for $175,000 when it was $75,000 6 months ago. There's no gun to their fucking head to buy this shit.
Okay, so
and
if
some
they
of them
do buy something, who pays then? If that's the case, then nobody's paying.
$1.50. I'm not buying eggs for $7.50 simply because they're $7.50. That's insane. That's insane. I don't have to buy luxury items that have a tariff on them. And I'm not saying eggs are a luxury item, but a Toyota Land Cruiser for $150,000 because we're putting a tariff on Japan and they retaliate. I don't have to buy that.
Again, that's a choice, but ultimately the one who pays for it is the consumer still.
Again, I disagree.
So then
Because the
nobody's paying
amount
for
of
it.
money that he's taken in to put into these savings accounts for children and to pay down the debt and everything else that all these tariffs have brought money into the country, who benefits? The consumer. I'm saying the tariffs benefit the consumer. The complete opposite. The complete opposite. Now I don't know what's going to happen. I did not see this coming. Did you? Did
Well,
you?
no,
I
I
mean,
mean, right now I'm still lost on the conversation. So, okay, whatever.
How much money has come in on tariffs so far? That money belongs to the people of the United States. Whether he gives it to them in savings accounts, whether he gives it to them in paying down the debt, whatever he does with that money theoretically belongs to the consumer.
Well, that was the rest of my statement, but we're lost on the first part. But okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'm already very confused about a lot of it. But essentially, what I'm trying to say is that companies ultimately, when they import something, they're paying a tariff to import it if there's a tariff levied against that country. Correct?
A company here,
Yes.
if there's a tariff,
Yes.
if they want to bring it in, and they want to pay that tariff, they're not obligated to do that, though. They could do a rare thing called Buy American.
Well, I understand, but that's a choice. I'm talking about what actually, if the tariff, if there's money being collected, it's coming from something. If every company boycotts it, says, okay, you know what, screw it, we're not buying a single vehicle, then there's no money from that tariff. It's just, it doesn't exist because there's nothing imported. So there's
You're correct.
None of that money is happening. Do we agree on that?
On what? The no money coming in, or
right? If use your Land Cruiser, if nobody buys a Land Cruiser, no company buys a Land Cruiser from Japan because there's a tariff on Japan,
right?
And there is no money earned from that tariff because nobody bought the Land
Except
Cruiser.
that they're buying an American Detroit car, putting
That's a separate thing.
No, it's not a separate thing. That's
well, it actually is, because you're not allowing me to finish out the whole statement.
Say whatever you want. I don't care. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That is what you're. Oh, I love all.
You're asking me a question, so I answered it.
Okay. The bottom line is, I'm just trying to say the A to the B to the C. If a Land Cruiser comes in, if a Land Cruiser comes in from Japan, and there's a tariff on Japan, the company is paying the tariff to Japan, to the United States, because it's buying a product from Japan. They pass it on to who? To a consumer here in the United States. That's a fact. What I'm saying is, instead of giving the money back, like Gorsuch is saying, which will wind up going back to the companies, Trump was talking about doing a rebate to the American citizen. And my thought was, well, wait a minute. If the citizen, the consumer, is who actually paid the damn money, a rebate to the consumer would actually be the refund in effect. And that could be beneficial to the economy.
Yeah. I mean, he's been talking. I mean, you good? He's been talking about this tax rebate for a while, right?
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, maybe that's a way to find a method to pay back, fulfilling the Supreme Court requirement, but still helping the American public directly and moving everything forward.
Well, we're going to have to see, because we're living in a critocracy now where they're running not just the country, they're running foreign policy now. They're running international monetary policy, this group of 6 people. They're running the economics of the United States. They're running the Treasury Department of the United States. They're undermining the Congress, who could or could not decide that they already voted on this in 1977 when they passed this regulation. They could force Congress to vote every other year if they want to, based on this logic. They may not like the law that Congress wrote in 1977, and now they're pulling the plug on it. They didn't find a problem with it in 1987, 1997, 2007, 2017, but now in 2026, they find an immense problem with this regulation law that was passed by Congress in 1977. That alone is completely crazy. Where they get this power from against the other branches, the other 2 branches of government, to me, demonstrates that we're living in a critocracy at this point. Not only are the lower levels of judges ruling on every single aspect of foreign, domestic, social, economic policy, the upper level now, SCOTUS, is now ruling on foreign policy, foreign economic policy in this case. I don't know where this goes from here. I mean, he can ignore all this and go, as many people are recommending, and I'm one of them, just ignore him, get impeached, let's roll. That's my answer to this whole thing. Keep the same policy going, do what you have to do, take the Senate, take 67 votes in the Senate after the midterms. You got him? Good, get him out of there. Let's have a guy in there named J.D. Vance, give him a leg up on the next term, put Rubio in as vice president. Let's fucking roll. If they want to play hardball, let's do it. Let's get it done. I mean, what's the gambit? What's the gambit? We're going to impeach you for not listening to the Supreme Court. Good. Let's go. Let's get it on. Let's do it again. The downside, the worst case scenario for conservative Republicans is we get J.D. Vance for 2 years and you put Rubio in there as his vice president. Now you run as a president of the United States. What do you do about Trump? You pardon him immediately. So he's not facing any legal prosecutions. What's the downside here? Bring it on. Continue to rake in the money from the tariffs. Completely rake it in for as long as you can remain in that Oval Office is my policy right now.
All right. Well, it sounds like he's already doing a workaround. So,
well, the workaround would be actually to have the Congress voted into law, but I don't think that's going to happen because the votes aren't there and the Senate's never going to do it.
Perhaps I don't know, but we'll see what happens with all of it. So, So while we're on a nice, calm subject, let's go switch over across the sea.
Yeah, what is going on over there, in your humble opinion? What do you think this is?
Well, with Andrew, I
don't understand British law. I don't understand what is it they are charging him with. If anything, I don't even know if they are. Are they, Eric?
Well, the irony has nothing to do with the women.
Right. Yeah.
What it is that he was communicating with Epstein, because everybody thinks about Epstein and females. They don't think about everything else Epstein was, which was a high-rolling financial manipulator guy. Well, Andrew, it appears, was leaking information to him that involved his country's policy, allegedly, which was essentially like insider trading. He was telling, Epstein, hey, this, we're getting along with this sheik. We're going to have a deal here. We're going to do this here, etc., which means that Epstein knows, okay, let's go invest and fill in the blank. Well, those are state secrets. And that's really what they're going after him for.
Why would he be privy to state secrets, in your opinion?
I think that there's...
I don't get, other than the ceremonial thing that he's supposed to be, what's economic or military or state, unless he's in the loop. I don't know how they roll over there.
I think they're on the loop. And I know, I don't know for every element, but for example, the king definitely is in the loop because they have a meeting with the prime minister. I don't know if it's weekly or monthly or whatever it is, but they literally have a meeting saying, this is what is going on. This is what is happening, blah, 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 blah. I think there's potentially a lot more ties when you're talking the royals with the people. And that's something that could be explored. I'm not going to say that I'm an expert on them because I don't know all the ins and outs.
I definitely don't know, but what you're implying, not you personally, that angle to it would imply treason.
Well, that's why this is a potential life sentence for him. I mean, it is a very serious crime, giving up state secrets for them. And the thing is, he was arrested when? On his birthday. Same time, King Charles released a statement. And he said, let me be clear. I think I'm remembering exactly. Let me be clear. The law will take its full course. So he signed off. He stripped Andrew of all of his titles, kicked him out of the property. And now suddenly on his birthday, he's arrested. And voila, this has the complete endorsement of King Charles, in my opinion. Andrew was protected by his mom through 2022 when she passed away, because Andrew, from what I understand, was her favorite. And now there is no cover. Now, here's the part that I think, and this is purely speculative on my part, But Keir Starmer is about to lose his entire government, from what I understand, his total control. He's in deep shit, to put it nicely. And what better way to distract from his own problems than say, how about that how about that Andrew there? Because I can't say Prince Andrew, but this gives him an opportunity to, buy a little bit of time while Andrew is drawing all the heat.
Right. Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's any there. I don't know how. British law seems to be completely in tatters. Their civil liberties is completely destroyed. Every aspect of their federal government seems to be in tatters. I was listening to Liz Truss this morning with Mike Benz, talking about the situation in Britain. Not this in particular, but just the entire destruction of their civil liberties. You're wondering, I mean, not only if this guy could get a fair shake, if anybody could get a fair shake in that country,
Nate
based on what's
rescue,
going
by
on.
the way.
What's that?
Nate to the rescue. He was appointed as trade envoy to help the British government negotiate deals with other countries.
I don't know what a trade envoy is. Is that a legal position or is a ceremonial position?
Is it letter?
Is it legal or is it ceremonial?
I think it's legal. And
okay.
Negotiate. Well, kind of like Kushner's doing with Trump and
what is that?
Others.
I mean, you're an advisor.
Yeah, but if you know what's going on and then you leak it out, because while you're advising, you know what's being discussed and you know how people are responding. So you could leak a lot of very damaging information.
Okay.
So anyway, I didn't realize that. But thank you, Nate, for that piece of info. Anyway, I think that it should be interesting to see what goes down with it. Supposedly, Starmer also wants Andrew to testify in front of Congress here.
What?
That's what I was reading.
Well, I think it's much ado about anything, and I think that they're trying to, like you said, distract from Starmer. I think you're onto something there with that, because this, I don't think there's any there.
Oh, with Andrew?
Yeah,
I think there probably is. Yeah.
Okay, well, what do you think is going to happen to him?
Ultimately, I think he'll suffer the same fate of his great uncle,
which is what?
Essentially kind of being in exile on an island somewhere, or whatever.
The island of Elba.
Oh, wherever. I
think he's going to be exiled?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's already lost his titles and everything, so just put him on ice and shove him on to whatever colony, what have you. His great
Napoleon,
uncle.
like Napoleon.
Well, there's Napoleon. That was being a prisoner, but no, it's King Edward. Remember, King Edward abdicated his crown because of Wallace Simpson, and then he was kind of shoved into France for a long time, and then I forget where and all he stayed, but he just was shown off the stage. And I kind of think that it'll probably be some variant of that. People are saying the Tower. I visited the Tower last year. That would be fun. Go visit, Andrew in the Tower. Hello. Why not? Very funny. Wallace Simpson was OJ's sister. Not bad. Anyway, oh yeah, and by the way, speaking of Charles, you do realize this is the first arrest of a royal in 400 years?
Yeah, that I knew.
All right, well, the last one was Charles I, and things didn't work out as well for him.
This is all comical. Nothing's going to happen to this guy. We'll see what happens, but this is all distraction, like you said, with Starmer. And it's shocking that they've gone to this level. It really is. The Brits have reached a new low with this going after the royals now. This is a descent into madness by the British institutions. They have reached lows that even the pre-Trump Biden administration had not yet reached.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's all about the victims, though. I'm glad the victims have been taken care of by this. Again, I'm curious to see what his sex crimes are, because that's what they've been talking about all day, are his sex crimes. And there's a lot
but the charges have nothing to do with that.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's kind of, it doesn't make any sense. They're talking about the victims being vindicated today. Halpern had a whole thing talking about the fact that the victims were celebrating, but it had nothing to do with any of these women, Eric. Like you said,
I agree. And that's part of the reason why I think that the charges potentially have teeth, is because it is not that. It's something in the official duty, that he had. And it's, paperwork. And if there's a paper trail showing this, that's pretty ugly. I do find it very interesting that the Epstein files, I'm not seeing a lot happening here. I see some resignations here and there in the States, but it seems to be far worse for England. Obviously, things are going crazy right now. There, in Norway, the crown princess's son has been arrested and is in custody. Now, I don't think he's a prince himself, so that's why I'm being specific. Crown princess's son. But anyway, and he kind of resembles the character of Joffrey from Game of
also
Thrones.
the damage here is done to Democratic executives and lawyers and educational people for the most part so far. I mean, the damage we've seen domestically.
A lot of educational.
A lot of educational things.
Yeah, and big names like oh God.
Well,
Larry Summers.
Larry Summers is long gone. Now they're going after Wasserman here in LA, for the Olympics. I mean, there's a lot of big names that have left quickly, and gotten out as soon as they could domestically here on the left.
Right. And a lot of authors and stuff, like I'm trying to remember all the names, because I was like, wow, these are people, her big names in the pop psychology field. Peter Attia, for one, is in that mix, and others, the quote unquote intellectual types. It's like, Epstein definitely had some. Steven Pinker.
Steven Pinker. Wow.
Yeah, and many and others. So that one's a weird one. All right. So while we're talking about cryptocracy, this is a case, and we went on and on about it a little bit too. Somebody pointed out I was talking about the situation in Norway to Pew Pew. I don't pretend to be an expert. I just know somebody was arrested.
And you're talking to someone from Norway.
Yeah, Pew Pew could fill us in. He is our Norway consultant. Anyway, this is kind of a crazy story. In California, there was a hospital, and the hospital determined that they were not going to do any more gender affirming care because they are afraid of losing federal funding. As you know, the zeitgeist is turning very rapidly away from gender affirming care, etc. So, true to form, we have a judge who came in and said, no, you will fulfill your obligations. And the attorney general is also suing this particular hospital. And the judge ruled that they will fulfill their obligation for providing the gender affirming care.
Well, gender affirming care, the GAC, as they call it internally, but the mutilation, as the rest of the universe calls it.
Yes.
I mean, look, it's crazy because they named the top 3 doctors, these 3 women who were doing the savage surgery on these kids. They've been named, and now it's at a point where it's every man for himself. That $2 million lawsuit victory in New York has opened the floodgates of medical malpractice now, and people who are like Rob Bonta, who is the attorney general, who is a professional douchebag doing the bidding of these medical industry people who don't want to lose any more money through monetary lawsuits. That's why Bonta was brought in as attorney general, this hack up in Sacramento, to try to make the hospitals keep going, in essence, to stop the bleeding of these monetary payouts that are downstream of this particular ruling that happened the other day. There is a massive wall of water coming to wipe these doctors off the map in terms of medical malpractice. Bonta is trying to stop the bleeding on their behalf. He is a hack working for the medical lobby here in California as attorney general.
I'm here for it.
What's that?
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Keep going, keep going. I mean, I love that. That judgment is so wonderful to see because it's already changed the policies at the highest level to where they're saying, yeah, it's no longer proven that underage people actually, have the necessity. And I can't remember. I think it's the American Psychiatrists Association. I'll have to pull those up, and it might be AMA, but the major umbrella organizations have now overnight changed their guidance. And it's funny how that works because, if their guidance is, so based in science,
right?
How is it a judgment of a court can flip science on its head?
Watch Bonta. Bonta will continue to double down for the next month, threatening to revoke the licenses of psychologists and psychiatrists who do not toe this line, because they're not going quietly into the night. He is going to try to use some muscle to revoke licensure of the psychiatrists and psychologists who are no longer doing what Eric said. So this story is not going to go away. This is the beginning of this last breath on the part of the brutal savages who have done this to children, to keep it going, not only to keep the money train going, but to save themselves from an indictment, to save themselves from criminality. Because if this merry-go-round stops, folks, if these musical chairs stop, there may not be a spot for them to sit as Nazi scientific doctors. They may be involved in their own Nuremberg trials here in the United States. And I say Nuremberg trials, it would be the equivalent of medical trials for these people who butchered these kids. If they give up,
let's go. Let's go.
That's why they're fighting back now at the 11th hour, attempting to hold off, and it's not going to work because, like Eric said, that ship has left.
Yeah, well, and the Supreme Court already has upheld the ban in Tennessee.
Yeah,
and they need to move as quickly as possible. What this reminds me of is big tobacco.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
It's like, they fought it, and they were clinging as hard as they can, and sadly, and I think Bobby Kennedy would agree with me on this, all those major figures finally found their escape hatch from big tobacco to big food.
Yeah,
and now we've got all the, a lot of the dietary problems.
Well, these people are definitely exiting like rats, from the hospitals and everything else to get out of the medical industry. Bonta, suing them is not going to prevent that from happening.
No. Well, a lot of this too, I think, is just delay until Trump is gone. And hope we get somebody sympathetic in there.
Yeah, and bring it back again. Bring the butchery back.
Yeah, and that's what's really
I mean, if it's their Newsom. If it's their guy Newsom, they are correct. He's probably telling them, stall for 24, 36 months until I'm in there, and I'll bring the whole thing back, and we'll solidify it in law. We'll codify it once and for all when we take the House, and that'll be the end of this.
Yeah, that's why it's a war. And by the way, that Trump, he can be appointing judges right now too. Not just Supreme Court justices if Alito retires, which is rumored right now, or whatever, but there are a ton of judges in the lower courts, all district courts on up. He should be, really
Thune and those people won't confirm him, though. That's the problem. It's the confirmation process. The Republican Senate is blocking. He's already appointed them. There's no more to physically. It's not like he needs another 500.
True.
He needs these to get through the Senate. And again, he refuses to play hardball politically. That whole front that he puts on there is Andrew Dice Clay of political wrestling. He behind the scenes, he does not know how to play LBJ hardball politics, and so they make a sap out of him every fucking day of his political life, with his barking and yelling and everything else. And we love him for what he does. But man, oh man, does he not know how to play this game. It is astounding to watch a man that weak behind the scenes, not being willing to mete out personal justice, private personal justice to these senators and politicos who have undermined him every step of the way. It's shocking that a politician this day and age cannot or does not know how or is not willing to do it. Whatever the psychological reasons are, I don't know what they are, but the point of the matter is he simply doesn't get it done. These people walk all over him, Eric. You and I have talked about this for years now.
I agree. And there's so many, though. I think he has to be strategic, like going after Cassidy in Louisiana as a specific example, because that is a major pharma-oriented doctor.
Yeah.
And make examples out of specific people and
right.
Louisiana seems like the perfect place. There's like, this is a state that's pretty red. He should be able to get another Republican senator who can come up and replace Cassidy as an example. So if you replace some of the really bad ones, obviously Massey comes to mind. Rand Paul would be nice. I kind of wonder about Kentucky though, because it's like, Kentucky, I got to ask you guys, you have McConnell, you have Rand Paul, there's your senators, you have Massey. It's like, maybe you really don't, maybe you really aren't MAGA. Maybe you really don't like it because somehow these people keep, getting in there.
The point of the matter is there's no one who said, look what happened to so-and-so. I'm not going to go against Trump. That does not exist. That does not exist. There's no example. Look what he did to fill in the blank.
There's Liz Cheney, but it was a while ago.
Yeah, but what did he actually do to Liz Cheney? I mean, she lost by a landslide because the people of her state said we've had enough with her. But Trump didn't do anything to her. The people spoke. The people trounced her, her own people in Wyoming. They turned on her. I'm not talking about him endorsing someone. My mother can endorse someone.
Sure.
I'm talking about backstabbing, draconian, behind the scenes, dirty, fucking nasty politics. He refuses to do it. And they walk all over him because he doesn't do it. The outside barking dog, as we now know, is not the same as the nice guy that everyone meets privately. It's two different people. And everybody's on to the game. Unfortunately, everyone's hip to it. The people who are his enemies.
Yeah, well, one of the people that I really think is actually his enemy and is out there right now with a latest drama bit, flopping doesn't only work in the NBA. Apparently it works in Israeli airports as well.
Oh, yeah. What was going on there? What is that?
I mean, well, Tucker, I did not see all of it, but I will say that Huckabee seemed to be handling Tucker just fine.
Yeah, I thought so. I read that.
Seen.
Yeah.
Well, just correcting the record and watching Tucker flailing, trying to, hold things together, especially when, Mike Huckabee is saying, okay, you have this guy on, and the guy claimed that this child was executed. And it's an absolute lie. And so Tucker's like, well, how do you know it's a lie? How do he was doing his routine. And Huckabee's like, well, because we found him.
Oh, that's a tough one. That's tough.
And well, how did you know it was him? Well, we have pictures, we have documentation, we have that. And it was just so fascinating to watch that. And then Tucker's trying other rhetorical tricks or misleading things, like talking about how there are more Christians in Qatar than in Israel. Well, technically, there are, but that really isn't the question. The question is, how many Christian citizens are there in Qatar? How many non-persecuted, non-labor Christians are actually in Qatar? Because they're not allowed to practice in Qatar like they are in Israel.
Right.
So there's so much misleading stuff that's going there. And then, of course, the biggest thing of all is, as I shared out his detainment.
What was that
at the airport? Well, I don't even know what to think of it. It's hilarious because they did release the footage of. I'm so glad. It must be the shortest case of Stockholm syndrome ever seen, because he was embracing them before he left. And I understand that, Patty Hearst, she wound up working with them. So I'm going to say that Tucker Carlson had to suffer Stockholm syndrome when he was in the airport in Tel Aviv.
Thank you. Oh my Lord.
That's my only my
You might
only
be
theory.
right. Did he say he was detained and interrogated by the Mossad or something?
Well, he was detained, interrogated, and they took the people apart. And as Huckabee even said, he goes, "I have this thing called a diplomatic passport. Guess what? They pull me aside and they say, 'What do you have? What do you have? What do you have?'" Because there's the problem that, well, there are a lot of people who seem to like to blow things up in Israel.
Oh, no kidding. Ask my brother who they asked him if he had anything to declare when that family was going on LL, and he says, "Yeah, my mother's got a bomb in her pocketbook." Well, the whole family was in the interrogation room for hours with my mother screaming at my retarded brother. She didn't care about Mossad. All she was doing was yelling at him until the Israelis started laughing finally and let them out. But Schmuckface, and they knew that he was being a schmuck, but they wanted to teach him a lesson.
We used to have that here too. I mean, some things aren't funny. You know, it's like, okay, Joker.
Well, this was here.
Let's play out your joke.
They were leaving here to go on El Al, to go to Israel. It was here, but it was, at El Al, getting on there.
Right. Well, and I think there are some cases where you're like, oh, you want to? Oh, you're a funny guy, right?
Funny guy.
Let's play it out. Let's see how funny it is. I'm laughing, and while you're messing.
My mother wasn't laughing. I'll tell you that much. She just kept.
Your brother stops laughing pretty soon, right?
She kept hitting him. And she wouldn't stop.
I guarantee they were laughing at that.
I think he was 13.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's your new version of Scared Straight.
I don't think it stopped him.
Well, okay,
unfortunately,
Mr. leaving camp every summer who pulled stunts when going through the field. You should be able to relate to your brother.
Well, after that, he brought with him, I think, about 50 Sony Walkmans to sell to the Arabs, thinking he was going to make a fortune, like he was some sort of crazy Eddie department store. And they said, well, let's make the deal. Let's go. And they took him in a Jeep out to the desert, stole all 50 of them and left him out there with no shoes in the desert. And it took them all day to walk back to the hotel, and they stole everything from him. He was the Ralph Cramden of the family. He was the honeymooner who had schemes all the time that went south. He had crazy schemes that failed all the time.
Is he the one who's on Jeopardy?
No, that's the smart one. No, that's the brilliant one. I'm talking about the Ralph Cramden one from the Honeymooners, the other brother who was absolutely a moron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you reminded me of
8,000 schemes, 8,000 different schemes, all failures.
That's wild. You reminded me of something on that when you mentioned the Walkmans, because I had a girlfriend who lived in Saudi for years.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things she had was just stacks and stacks and stacks of cassettes. Apparently the piracy, and this is back in the 80s.
Right.
Was just rampant there. She's like, oh yeah. They have every cassette, whatever. So it was always, like slightly typos, misspellings, this and that. But it was like just about every popular music cassette out there. There was like a pirated copy she had. It was just
Larry Charles talked about it. The guy from Curb and Seinfeld, he talked about being around the world, and everywhere he went, there was a copy of Bruno in a different language, which he directed. But he couldn't believe how, and he started to collect all the different bootleg Brunos for his own personal collection.
That'd be funny.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
I mean, it's not a product you made, and there it is being shot in theaters in Qatar off of a screen and being sold in a bazaar.
And the funny thing is, he probably wasn't really even that upset about it.
No,
it's not like the people who buy it would ever pay to go to the movie anyway.
No,
so it's sort of like it's like whatever. Congrats on your ingenuity.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's shift to New York, because we have to revisit a story that we had before. And remember that Mamdani was holding strong. He said, you know what? Homeless people have a right to be free. There's no need to round them up, anything else, because they should be free. Never mind. I thought it was 19. Apparently, it's 20 have died since his policy. He's now reversed it. And now there are homeless encampment sweeps. And he did come up though with a new methodology. This is this is the genius of the
That's
guy
a genius.
to piss away even more money. He said, "What we're doing different from my predecessor," and he pointed out Eric Adams was only having like 2 touches in 7 days. So he would go to somebody saying, "Hey, you got to clear out of here." They didn't clear out. They would come back and then pick them up and go. Well, what Mamdani is doing is that he is visiting them every day.
Whoa.
So it'd be like, "Hey, you got to go. Hey, you got to go. Hey, you got to go. Hey."
Great,
so I'm
great
like,
video last night down in Long Beach, and one of these social workers with the orange vest, the new ones that they send out. He lost his cool and he was beating the living shit out of a homeless person. The actual social worker, Eric.
wow. Well, and I thought they wouldn't be safe.
No,
It
now
turns out that a couple of them will be all right.
They're the aggressors now. They're beating the home. They've had enough themselves.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't think it was going to come to that, but apparently they've lost their cool.
Yeah, they have. Also, have you seen how he's handling the major shortfall? I guess New York, they're looking at a $12 billion in deficit. Some of that, I guess they gained back because Wall Street got their bonuses in or something. So somehow they're pulling from that. But there's a lot of money. He doesn't know what to do with it. The state is saying, no, you cannot raise any more income tax. We're not going to allow that to happen. And so Mamdani is now going to raise property tax.
Oh, no.
Which is going to raise rents, which he campaigned rents frozen. Remember? Rents are going to be frozen. I was his campaign promise. And why is that? Well, because he doesn't want to get rid of any programs. You see how he dealt with the Eric Adams program. He managed to find a way to make it twice as expensive because we can't leave out programs, have to have the programs. But so he's flipping on every campaign promise he had pretty much so far.
Well, again, Eric and I were talking before the show about Bernie Sanders was here last night promoting the billionaires money grab and getting the mob worked up into a froth, almost like a Frankensteinian mob to go after the billionaires who are fleeing in droves. Spielberg left last night. He moved to New York. Many of them are moving to Miami and to Florida. I mean, they're saying, just so you know the details of this, because a lot of people outside of California don't know the details. This is a ballot initiative that's going to go on the ballot in November to an emergency money grab, Eric, to take 5% of the wealth from the billionaires who live here to pay for the fact that Newsom paid for the Medi-Cal for 2.5 million illegal aliens bankrupting the state itself. That I'm not even exaggerating. That's actually their explanation. This is not any smoke and mirrors. They are grabbing the money. They're saying it's a one-time only, but they said if it works, until next time.
Yes.
If this works, Katie, bar the door, because we could do this every year, every 6 months, every emergency, whenever we set the clocks back, put the clocks ahead, the Dodgers lose the pennant, whatever the thing is, if we're able to grab X amount of money, and I don't know what their expectations are in the money grab, but it's 5% of each billionaire's worth for that one-time grab, and it's going to be on the ballot. And they claim, which is always a lie, which is why everybody votes down every single ballot initiative here now, that it's going to go because of this Medi-Cal thing. But they traditionally steal the money, give it to NGOs, and split it up among themselves. This is traditionally what the gang does. They have these taxes or special things on the ballot. They bring in the money. It doesn't go to education. It goes to 550 NGOs who then pay their own salaries. Which is essentially what's going to happen here. The question is, are the billionaires obligated to stay here to be raped?
Obviously not. And by the way, can I point this out to everybody? What are the billionaires doing? Oh, they're leaving. That tells you everything, because to get $1 billion, you got to be kind of smart. they're not the dumb people. So smart people are saying, oh shit, goodbye. So I think that their actions are showing you exactly why. Yes, it's a one time until next time.
Well, not only that, the people in the theater who were at the Wiltern the other night being interviewed said, what's it to them? They have a lot of money. Every single person had the same classic economic deep theory. They thought it through, and their economic theory boiled down to such complex arguments as they have a lot of money. Why not? I mean, there was no other argument other than, hey, they got $1 billion. Let's take some. I mean, that was it.
Yeah. Yes. That's why, it fits perfectly. Like teenagers who become adults are like, hey, mom and dad have money. It just doesn't end, whatever. It's that same mentality. Yeah.
My allowance is $10 a week. I'd like it to be $100 now, Dad. And the dad goes, go fuck yourself. Well, why can't I have $100? Because you can't. Here's your $10 a week.
No, I agree. By the way, the same cost run-ups are what happened in New York. Remember all the hotels for the migrants, the $600 a day, and they housed everybody. I got a clip here from Libs of TikTok. I haven't actually seen it yet, but 30 seconds, and it's how the voters in New York are handling Mamdani and his current term.
The mayor, with the greatest respect, in every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
Giving only two options. You're saying if we don't tax the rich, then I got to increase property taxes. We are not a pawn in Southeast Queens. We are not part of your negotiation tactics. Zoran Mamdani, you are out your goddamn mind.
The mayor.
Wow, that
Sucks
very
to be
interesting.
you
Like a
voted
black
for him.
homeowners association there. I like that. The white bearded, the Moses guy was their leader. That white bearded dude, he was their Moses.
That's right.
They've had it with property tax increases. Everybody's had it except somebody's got to pay the piper, Eric.
I know that's what somebody.
The socialist merry-go-round is coming to an end so quickly, it hasn't even started yet.
And then the answers like California, which I love. Okay, so you have the billionaires. They're not living for free in California right now. They're generating a shit ton, and that's a scientific figure of money for California.
Yep.
So because you want to reach in that bucket and grab more money, you're losing the whole bucket.
Oh, it's
congratulations, California.
Laying the goose that laid the golden eggs. Absolutely. Because of their own greed and their own, in other words, they could have perpetuated their socialist mini society here, but they decided to let in 2.5 million illegal aliens, not just to let them in, to feed at the economic trough of Medi-Cal and Medicaid benefits. The federal government cut them off. The state benefits went below the poverty line, went completely underneath, where they're now billions of dollars in debt. So what's their alternative? Just grab all the money from the billionaires before they leave. I mean, what kind of an economic plan is that?
Exactly.
First of all,
exactly.
It's so juvenile. It's totally brazen. It's totally corrupt. It reeks of socialism and Marxism. It makes no long-term economic sense other than we'll do it again when we need to. But what I'm saying is, if they just didn't let those people in, they quietly could have kept this thing going for decades. But these schmucks said, let's let the entire fucking world in here. Well, there's no more apartments because you let in 2 million people overnight, bro. Now they're sleeping in the gutter. Well, we got to give them Medi-Cal. We got to give them mail-in ballots. We got to keep the power going. Okay, now you're in a lot of trouble. So what Newsom's now going to run, the plan is to have Newsom alter the fabric of the nation instead of fixing California. That's a ballsy move, Eric. Instead of fixing this thing here, I'm going to take over the whole country to make sure we get funded.
Can I point out that he's successfully done that multiple times now? Because he started out as a shitty mayor of San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
helped run that city down into the ground.
Yep.
So what did he do? He got promoted so he could keep paying. So I'm saying, okay, became lieutenant governor. I don't know what he got out of that. That's not as much, but then he became governor. So then, so far, it's kind of worked for
it's
him.
been good for him. The problem is when you don't have a Democratic president in the White House, the plan doesn't work for these socialist blue states because there's no one to bail you out. The Fed is not, Trump is not going to bail out money into the blue states. So the blue states have no choice but to come up with these insane solutions to their insane economic conditions.
Which is hilarious, though, because the main solution is drop some of the bullshit programs. Problem goes away. I mean, a court people to come into your gorgeous state with the perfect weather and say, no taxes for you. Just bring a lot of jobs and then we'll tax the shit out of the people. No, we don't want to do that either.
That would alter the fabric of their imaginary society.
I know.
Yeah. It really is sad to watch them squirm. They're talking about actual job cuts at City Hall now. They are like, they look like deer in the headlights because they finally realized the past month that they're now going to actually have to cut human beings' jobs. They've said this now. They're looking around like it's musical chairs. I mean, it's really fun now. They're looking at each other saying, you got to go. And they're going, no, you got to go. And like, they're going, well, who's going to make me nanny goat? I mean, it's really come down to that. I mean, it's so funny. These women, and it's all women, the entire government, every aide, every secretary, every supervisor, the mayor, the city hall, every single person working there is a woman, and they're all screaming at each other now.
I think it's great. I think that is fantastic. All right, I had a feel-good story here. I don't know for some reason. Oh, here we go. For some reason, USA Today was kicking it forward. We haven't covered a lot of the Olympics. I haven't really watched a lot of it. But,
either have I. Yeah.
I don't know why. I just haven't been in the mood. But this is, I think, a really cool story. Alyssa Liu, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Essentially, her father, this Olympian, was involved or, was persecuted with the Tiananmen Square situation. He moved here, had his daughter. So he fled China in 1989 and came here. And then 2022, so last Olympics, China was actually following the family around, trying to harass them. They were under FBI protection.
Wow.
Everything else because, famous athlete, this and that. And China's very big into face. So it's important, image, face, things like that. Well, very happily, she just won the gold.
Oh, that's a good story.
United States. So it is really a beautiful thing. Came here, escaped, won the gold for the United States versus, I think there's a skier who was an American who's skiing for China because,
and
some people are committed to our country and some people are committed for cash.
Yeah. Well, this guy, by the way, that guy, Steve Hilton, the British guy with the shaved head, seems to be leading in the Republican race for governor here. And that Chad Bianco sheriff has been apparently exposed as a tool of the left to cock block him from getting the entire Republican votes to get into the final round. So he is
the guy that took a knee for Black Lives Matter.
The guy who took a knee
really a Democrat. Imagine that.
Yeah, he has been exposed as a fraud. And he now is talking about amnesty for the 2 million illegal aliens in California, along with this guy, Rick Caruso, who famously, phonily ran for mayor against Karen Bass, didn't bother to even stick around for the vote count. But this guy, Steve Hilton, seems to be the guy people are coalescing around. So they're trying to knock him off now in this three-card Monty game over here for the governorship.
Wow.
Yeah, very interesting. I didn't realize that. Good. I mean, they run. Out here they run phony Republican candidates and phony Democratic candidates to knock off each other. That is the thing they do out here. You hear about it other places, but they actually do it here.
Wait, are you calling Schellenberger a phony Republican candidate?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about him, but yeah, that's a good one.
It's just the name that came to
yeah.
my mind. I don't know.
They have a history of doing this here now. So
Wow.
Steve Hilton is scaring them, and we'll see what happens. I mean, because it's going to end up, there's so many people that it's going to end up below 50% and have a runoff.
Which could give him a chance.
Yeah,
I think a runoff would be maybe the only way a Republican can get in there.
Yes.
Hopefully it's against Katie Porter.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. But right now, the leader is Eric Swalwell.
Oh, he's good too, because if you could get his election illegal, then that's cool too.
I know. Spencer Pratt's not even on the ballot. They're trying to get signatures for Spencer Pratt, the reality show guy. That's not going to happen. So he should get out of the race, and everybody should coalesce around Steve Hilton, in my humble opinion.
Right. What about lieutenant governor? Pratt can run for lieutenant governor under Hilton, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Line up for the future.
Yeah, line up for the future. His sister came out and denounced him. Apparently, she's a lefty. And like the Kennedy clan, she decided to go public and say that her brother once slapped her when they were growing up. So he's a domestic abuser when they were children. And he has no right to run for governor because he's a reality show star. She says he just wants publicity. Even though her parents and him both lost their homes in the fire, she feels that he's just a publicity seeker. Unlike her, who apparently came out of nowhere to tell the press that her brother was not qualified to be governor.
I mean, maybe I'm confused. I thought the president of the United States was in a reality show. I don't think that holds it against anybody to be in a reality show.
She said the last thing we need is more incompetent politicians. And I thought, well, the ones we have are actual professional politicians, and they're completely incompetent.
Yeah, especially
we may need some outside people who are not politicians, like Spencer Pratt.
Yeah, ideally people who have done something else in life other than running for office forever.
Right.
So totally agree. I saw this article. I don't know if we covered it before, but there was a case of Rep. Tony Gonzalez, whose aide self-immolated.
Yeah, this is another one. I tried to follow this story. Somebody self-immolated, and I don't know. It was the aide of the governor,
this
of
person
the
here on
congressman.
the right. His aide, this representative's aide, and apparently, there she is right here.
Yeah.
Texts are coming out that there was something going on between them.
Oh no, you think so?
Yeah. Apparently,
but self-immolation is such a rare form of death.
Oh, jeez, no kidding.
That it's usually someone did it to them. You know what I mean? It's that rare.
No, that's true. Or a political statement like we saw with the Air Force, or where they
with monks, like burning monks at protesting wars, right. Unless she was doing that. I mean, I don't know what her motivation was.
Well, I can't even imagine it. That is one of the most frightening.
Yeah.
I mean, a really pretty young lady, and just a horrible situation. I can't even imagine. But anyway, I think
there's going to be a wag the dog anyway this weekend. All this news is going to go away.
Well, Iran?
Yeah. I think that he's going to make this. He's going to clean the table news-wise by wagging this big dog in Iran, in my opinion.
Okay.
Once it builds up to this level where you can't get your voice through the crowd, this is the traditional way of dealing with it as a president.
Okay.
I mean, they're not just floating around out there. I mean, there's everybody's there. The Gerald R. Ford is there. All the big ships are there, Eric.
All right. I don't. Hopefully it works out. I mean, I'm not really
I mean, I
thrilled.
think it'll be cruise missile strikes off the ships into surgical strikes into Tehran. I don't think there's again this incredible paranoia, boots on the ground. That's never going to happen under this president. And I think there'll be surgical strikes from the air and from the sea. But it will take the
fairness,
news.
There could be boots on the ground. There is an example. They just didn't stay on the ground. Venezuela. I mean, technically speaking, there were boots on the ground and they were out by the time you heard it. So,
but traditionally, what we mean by boots on the ground is U.S. infantry troops going in for full deployment. That's never going to happen under Trump. And despite the conservative right yelling like the sky is falling every time he saber rattles, I believe again these will be cruise missile strikes off of ships and airstrikes from the air from our Air Force. Into Tehran and into surgical bunkers where they're hiding and whatever the hell else they're doing down there.
Oh, by the way, part of the interview with Huckabee and Tucker, it was funny because Huckabee was talking about Iran, and I didn't get to see all of it, but he said to Tucker, he goes, yeah, just like what was it? He goes, you're saying we're going to war with Iran, and Tucker's like, Huckabee came back and said essentially, well, yeah, last year he fired some missiles into Iran and not a single American life was lost. And Tucker's like, well, that's good. And Huckabee goes, yeah, you said 20,000 were going to be lost. And Tucker goes,
World War III was imminent, remember?
Right. No. And Tucker goes, no, I said that he could lose 20,000 people.
Come on.
It was kind of funny. But then Huckabee said this was very interesting because he goes, how many U.S. soldiers have been lost for Israel ever? Ooh. How many have been sent in all of history? How many have been sent? And Tucker said, well, we went to Iraq. He goes, no, that wasn't for Israel.
No.
And Tucker's like, yes, it was. And he's like, no. He said that wasn't for Israel.
Ask the Cheneys what it was for. Ask the Cheneys if they gave a shit about anything like that.
But I thought that it was a strong question.
Huckabee's great. Huckabee's the shit. I mean, he has come on like gangbusters the past couple of years. He really has proven to be a mensch.
So anyway, I thought that was interesting. The clip ran out, but I really wanted to see how Tucker was going to dig out of that.
What is the end game with this guy in your opinion? Where is he going with all this? I mean, I don't. What is his goal? What is his end game? Why is he doing this? Does he need the money? Is it money? Is it? I think it does. Okay. All right.
No, I don't know, all the details, but I feel like he's at the end of his leash.
Okay.
Because I look, the whole stunt with the airport is so easily disproven and looks ridiculous. That's almost desperate. That's like you're starting to flail.
You're saying it's flailing for clicks
or something, or somebody's yanking his chain saying, you do this now. Wow. And I thought about it and I'm like, well, how did he get to Israel? Well, he was on his private jet. Now, how much does it cost to be running a private jet in an enterprise jet setting around the world? This is not. Yes, I know Tucker comes from money, but that's like billionaire money, not millionaire money. And there is a difference. And I kind of wonder if people are saying, you've got to produce, buddy, and you need to be producing more now. Yeah. Now. I don't know.
Hard to keep it up. How do you keep that dance up?
I don't know. People are saying Cutter paid for the jet. That's possible, but then he's got to perform. All I'm saying is that if other people are behind him and there's an expectation, and if things aren't moving, if he's not moving the needle, he's got to do more.
I think eventually that the host in any kind of situation like this will burn you out and then move on to another creature. You know what I mean? Who they're not going to, they have no love of Tucker Carlson. They're just going to use him until he runs out of gas and then move on to someone else. They're not going to go down the drain with Tucker Carlson. They're just going to ride him until he can't come up with any logical anti-whatever stuff that they want. And then they're going to say, all right, we're done. He's done. Let's find someone else.
Yeah. And I'm just saying that these are starting to get into the ridiculous. It's like, eventually he won't be able to, call Trump. He won't
Right.
be able to, even JD Vance will have to start to, distance himself from his bestest friend in the world.
I think that may be what's going to happen, Eric.
So,
Because how long can he keep this up? I mean, every day he's making a fool out of himself. In other words, there's very few ideas you could come up with to keep that dance going with his Middle East, puppet masters.
yeah, I mean, and I don't know it that well because it's not like we don't even get a $7,000 check, which sucks.
Yeah.
But oh shit, do I not have that? Oh damn, I had something because I can't help but think about when you talk about Tucker, you can't help but think about the other grifting champion of the world, which would be, of course, Candace Owens.
Mm-hmm.
I shared with you the other night. Remember the Candace learning
Well,
to
today,
read?
this just broke. He's calling for every Jew to forcibly receive a DNA test. So I don't know what this is about. Yeah, he wants us to take a DNA test to see if we're Jews.
Oh, because supposedly he's probably of the mindset that Ashkenazi is not technically a tribe of Israel. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I think I've heard that one before.
Okay.
Okay, well, let me get the second up. Remember when I shared there's an account, it's called like Candace Learning to Read, or
That was great.
Like,
yeah, those malapropisms is the last show. Yeah.
Or just flat out can't say shit. Well, it's getting to them because this is from her show, I think 2 or 3 days ago. Watch what they're doing now.
Well, Alex Clark told us that wasn't true. He just liked the architecture, right? He just loved it. He would go in there.
Did you see that?
She pronounced architecture right, or
he just loved it. He would go in there and just, wow, look at this. This is right.
Oh, it's edited there. She
loved it.
Recut it.
And just wow.
They muted her right when she was saying architecture.
Oh my!
They
Lord.
muted the middle part of it. It's
so they're going back in to redub.
Yeah, and let's play it again.
That wasn't true. He just liked the architecture. Right?
Did you hear that?
Oh,
that sound drop.
Yeah. Interesting. So they are feeling the heat, you're saying.
Exactly. They're resorting. And I looked, by the way, I didn't just go to the clip. I went and made sure I was logged into another account because I don't want to be suggested her stuff on my YouTube. But anyway, found the original episode, went to the timestamp here, 48:30, and sure as shit, this was clipped from that episode.
Wow.
I love it. So it's definitely,
man, these people are shameless. They're absolutely shameless, Eric.
Oh, it's just funny. It's just like, just learn the word, dude.
No, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Or they're too afraid to tell her, which might be the other.
It could be that they're just going to clean it up in post.
It could be, but all right. So I have something on Tuesday. I brought something into the program. I brought in a list, and it was the worst songs of the 70s.
Oh yeah, that was bad. I went to bed at night. I had to put earmuffs on.
Did you? Okay, well, good. I'm going to compound it, and I have the worst songs from the 60s.
Oh, what could these be? This might be a little different.
It might be. Okay, so we're going to start off the winner is, of all things, Yummy Yummy.
Yummy. I've got
Yummy by the Ohio Express.
The Ohio Express was first of all, this was a huge hit. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I've got love in my tummy. Which everybody presumed was about being pregnant. At the time, teenage pregnancy was what I thought it was about. But the Ohio Express, I don't know what to say. There was a bunch of these bubblegum bands back then. The 1910 Fruit Gum Company was one of them. There was a lot of these bubblegum bands. This was
Lou Reed wrote for some of that stuff too, didn't he?
That I don't know.
Well, he wrote in the Pancake or whatever it was called. I recall he was writing like some of these pop cheesy things. Well, anyway, ironically, the person who wrote Yummy Yummy Yummy, or the people that wrote it, also wrote Under the Boardwalk.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been brill building people cranking these out, in the brill building.
Brill building, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people wrote in the brill building. I think Lou was part of that.
So anyway,
that was a weird one.
All right, and it's not the full list, but
Oh,
you get to suffer. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Worst
I had to
song
suffer
of the
through watching Dreamgirls the other night with Jamie Foxx and Beyonce and Jennifer Hudson, and wow, that was painful. The movie
Why?
version of the musical. There was a movie version of the musical,
Yeah,
and
I've heard about it, but why?
oh,
Why?
because it was part of the Eddie Murphy story. He was the
Oh,
star of Dreamgirl. He was playing like a Al Green singer, and the backup singers became the Supremes afterwards in the storyline. Beyonce becomes like Diana Ross, and it's part of the whole story, I guess.
okay. It must have been one of his very forgettable string of movies.
Well, it was a huge hit. It actually got a number of Oscars, and but it was an ensemble.
Okay.
Because Jamie Foxx was playing Berry Gordy, Danny Glover was in it. So there's a lot of different stars in it.
All right. So was it a decent movie or no?
It was painful as fuck, but I'm not a musical person, so it
I
hurt
hate musicals
really.
too.
No, but it was one of those sly musicals, Eric, where it's people are doing coke and fighting and knifing, and all of a sudden, I don't know why. I'm going, whoa, where did that come from? They start singing once every hour. It's not like every 5 minutes. It's one of those musicals where they sing once every 35 minutes, and it catches you off guard because it lulled you into a false sense of being in a real movie.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm not a
Plus,
fan of musicals.
Plus,
period.
it's a musical. There's musical acts within the movie that are legitimately performing as acts, like at the Apollo and stuff. So you go, oh wow, that's great. This guy's doing that. This is great. That's great. But then all of a sudden, Jamie Foxx goes into his office, and you go, oh man, he's really depressed. Why do I have to put up with this? Why do I? And I'm going, whoa, bro.
I'm still traumatized by a couple musicals. Like one, Johnny Depp. I like the guy. Okay, he's a good actor and everything, but he did Sweeney Todd.
Oh, that was tough.
Sucked.
That was
my
sucky.
god, that sucked.
Yeah,
It sucked bad. But the worst performance I've ever seen in a musical, singing, and I guess I could give credit that he actually did it, but Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia.
Oh, I didn't
horrible.
see that one.
I can't sing, and he must have my voice, but I mean, it was awful. I mean, that guy cannot sing. That movie sucked. Every time he opened his mouth, I was just like, oh my god.
My favorite musical was La La Land with Ryan Gosling, and it opens with them dancing on these cars in a complete traffic jam on the 101, and it's absolutely brilliant. But again, that musical is different than the other ones.
Okay, well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean that director is a genius.
I like Little Shop of Horrors.
That was great too. I mean, the Steve Martin thing was unbelievable
Right.
with Bill Murray. Yeah, we covered that with the Bill Murray episode. Steve Martin was able to pull some of that stuff off.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, that was great. You're right.
In terms
That
of
was,
a musical, I would call that a good musical.
right. Well, the movie, again, the same thing. It was a musical on stage and then was filmed. The same with Dreamgirls.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, I hate musicals. I avoid them.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Oh, I mean, a lot of people love them. I mean, Hamilton's all the rage, right?
Dude, everyone I met, whoever saw Hamilton, just wanted to kill themselves. Oliver Stone told me he wanted to kill himself. George Hamilton himself wanted to kill himself seeing Hamilton, which I found to be dude, I mean, that was the best one. He was just telling me he was going to kill himself. So many people fled on foot, escaping on the break, never to come back. Others tried to sleep through it. But basically, it was one of those things that you were not allowed to criticize. That's
I've heard that about Cats too.
Oh, that I don't remember. That might have been so innocuous that nobody cared. You know,
It could be, but yeah. There, and you know what? There are some movies.
The best one was Hair, because Hair had really great songs. I mean, if you've got good songs in a musical, you could run forever.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I mean, Moulin Rouge was pretty good. That had decent music in it. What's that, Baz Luhrmann? Anyway,
Was that a musical, the Baz Luhrmann one, or?
Yeah, Moulin Rouge. With
Oh, that was right.
That was
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah.
But I agree. If they're really good songs, well, yeah,
They're really good songs that could stand alone, but it's so hard to write those songs. You're actually being hired to write hit songs, which, you know what I mean? That's what you're saying. I'm going to write a hit song, and there's going to be 8 of them in this movie. Well, good luck if you could pull that off. You're Lieber and Stoller then.
Well, here's a good example. It takes you back to your interview that you did. Grease is good, and
Yes,
remember, was it Barry Gibb wrote the that song? You know, Grease. I think that was the name of the song.
Grease is the word. Yeah, Grease is the word.
Which I love the story that Stephen told about how he came up with it, because he was there when his dad did it, or whatever.
Yeah, his dad was able, but his dad is like a John Lennon professional songwriter.
Sure.
I mean, that's like saying, yeah, Dylan wrote a bunch of songs for a musical. Well, that's different than Sondheim doing them. And Sondheim's the #1 guy. You know, I mean, how many Sondheims are out there who can actually write 8 or 6 or 9 songs for a musical? I mean, it's rare. Let me just leave it at that. It's very rare.
Fair enough. But I love the way he came up with it when he was like, I don't know, Grease. It's a word, because he literally does not have the damn.
His father is such a stoner, Barry Gibb. I mean, we're talking about Steve Gibb's father, Barry Gibb. To this day, is a complete stoner.
That is funny. All right. While we're talking about everything, I've got another story on the musical front. I kind of got to give it to the guy, but William Shatner is going to release a metal album.
Oh my God.
With 35 handpicked musicians.
Did you see his brand commercial where he calls?
Oh yeah. I've shared it on Locals. Yes.
I shat. Oh my God. Oh,
you got okay. I'm not sure what went down with. I know that he was on the interstate, I guess in traffic or whatever, and he was eating cereal, and somebody caught a picture of it, and it became a meme.
Oh, weird.
And I think that might have been legitimately he was eating cereal. It became a meme. He turned it into this and completely absorbed it. And he was like, yeah, I was eating it. It was Raisin Bran. And then he was doing pitches.
That's who's sponsoring him, right? Is Raisin Bran.
I think that it may be an actual sponsorship now.
Oh, it was a big Super Bowl commercial.
Okay, well, but it came out of that meme. So I don't know if I don't know if it was so well put together that he got himself caught and started the meme with the cereal, and the whole thing was manufactured.
What is he doing at 94?
More than many people. I kind of respect it.
What is he doing on the highway eating cereal at 94? Dude, he should just be in bed 24/7 with the remote control.
Because
where is he going?
I respect that, man. He can't.
It's just crazy.
I think it's awesome, man. It's like if you're going to be 94, you could be, a ghost like Clint Eastwood, when nobody sees anymore or whatever.
I'd like to see him in a mud wrestling fight with Dick Van Dyke, and who could win that fight? Shatner versus Van Dyke.
That'll be a close call.
I know. I don't
know.
But he'll have to use some of his Kirk strength and Kirk memory. And Van Dyke will have to use some of his kicking strength and some of his jokes. It would be an interesting battle.
You know what? You made me think of, okay, there was a show. I don't remember the name of it. The chat can fill it in, but Leslie and I watched it. We thought it was just hilarious. And it was William Shatner, Henry Winkler, and the quarterback, famous Terry Bradshaw, and a young guy. Who was like one of their kids or something, or an assistant or whatever. And they were traveling around to like Japan or whatever.
Wow.
And it was actually hilarious. I mean, the way they interacted with each other. I'm sorry, what?
They were just traveling? That was the
show? It was a travelogue show, and just getting in trouble doing whatever it was. I forgot the name of it, but it was freaking funny because the personalities and the way.
Right. Well, it depends how they interact with each other. That's the key. Yeah.
And William Shatner, one thing I like about him is he's in on the joke. all the time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like he's done his spoken word performances, and
Well, when your show gets canceled in 1967, you've got a few years to work out some other acts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's some movies, and
I agree, and but that's what I kind of like about it is he has no problem. He was great in Boston Legal.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Again, he doesn't take himself too seriously. Yeah, TJ Hooker is not it, guys. It was a recent show, recent years. Better late than never. Thank you, TSM.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, we were laughing our asses off watching it. It caught everything just right, and it was just funny. Definitely, everybody check that out. And on another happy note, I want to check out some super chats, Rumble rants, and we have a Rumble rant from Other Side of the Mountain 2025. Mark, did you catch the city council meeting with residents of Larchmont and Koreatown who want a police patrol to stop streetwalkers from screwing johns in their shrubs, bushes, and on public benches?
Yeah, and in fact, the New York Post has been attending these council meetings and are being driven out by leftist agitators, especially at the police. The police have their own meeting where you show up at the police meeting and air your grievances. And Marxists have been showing up screaming at the police, preventing homeowners and regular citizens from airing these grievances that this person is talking about. It's really bizarre.
It sounds
well. They're trying a general cleanup for the Olympics, as Eric knows. So this is done in many cities around the world. When the Olympics are coming, everybody's holding their breath here as to how this is going to work because nobody believes that it can work. The people who live in this city are just saying there's just a ticking clock in the back of people's heads going, when are they coming? How do I get out of here? Because this is not going to go well, Eric.
Yeah, I guess not. By the way, I see this chat in here and it made me think of it. It's Friday. I'm in Love, The Cure. I don't know if you remember their first album. I think it was their first album, Boys Don't Cry.
I don't. Is it named after the movie or?
Well, the movie is, I think, named after the album. But anyway, the first Cure album that I know of is Boys Don't Cry. One of the biggest songs they had on it has been removed from every version, like past the first one. It's called Killing an Arab. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it's kind of hard to find the original because they've sort of erased that song from the memory.
Is that Robert? What's his name?
Smith.
Robert Smith.
Yeah. With the hair. He makes your hair look lightweight.
No, he's one of my idols too. I love his hair.
Well, I used to have my hair like that when I had hair as a teenager.
Right. You know what I'm talking about then, right?
Yeah, well, I went from Billy Idol to Robert Smith, just a matter
That's
of time.
Not so far. That's not unless you're bleaching at Billy Idol and then going to shoe polish Robert Smith.
Yeah, I didn't mess with the color too much.
Color is the big difference there, right?
Yeah, so I don't know, either Robert Smith or Flock of Seagulls, one or the other, if you're going to get into the hair. All right, Pamela, happy Friday, guys. I'm loving all your new thumbnails. Well,
they're very good. Very good.
Thank you. They're a new thing. I'm pulling screenshots from the show itself and just trying to do things. True Texan. Okay, Mark, who was paying the tariff?
Which country is paying the tariff? I think a lot of countries are paying the tariff.
Yeah, well, I think we beat it up.
Yeah.
Charlie Flo 4204. Mark Robert, Damas, will Trump release space alien files?
Yes.
Will there be surprises? Will you and Eric be in them?
Well, we're not going to be in them, but we'll cover the story once he releases them, and I think there will be surprises.
Did you see that clip though when he was talking about how Obama released secrets when he said that?
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
I know.
Really,
I know.
Because then he didn't admit it though. He just said he wasn't supposed to do that. That's classified. And they go, "Oh, so is it real?" He said, "I can't say if it's real or not." So it was something's
coming. Something's coming out. I'm excited. I'm excited. I know other people are very excited, more than me.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Woo!
Is that going to be Luna or who?
It's going to be through Luna again. She'll be the distributing arm, I imagine, because she said she was going to be.
All right. This is interesting. William Ratcliffe is saying, Mark is right about Tuckster doing blow.
I'm just surmising. It's just my guess. The only thing that makes sense is drugs and alcohol. I don't know what they are.
How many people have commented now, though? I do find,
yeah,
they comment in and they're like,
yeah.
All Mark ever sees is people are on drugs. If people do anything, they're always on drugs. That's all Mark knows is that people are. How many times have
a lot of people are on drugs? What can I say? Ask Shia LaBeouf how it's going.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay, tell me what's going on with Shia.
Just a garden variety, guy. I mean, unless you go to meetings all the time, you end up like Shia LaBeouf or Tucker Carlson, apparently.
Well, it appears to me Shia has gone off the wagon completely because it looked like the police released him and he went right back out the party afterwards.
Of course, yeah. Oh, dude, God. He's the real deal, bro. Don't sell Shia LaBeouf short. He's not done yet. He's going to party this thing into the ground.
Is he going to go full Charlie Sheen or is he going to stop?
We'll find out. Who knows? We don't know.
But Charlie's been holding up pretty well, right? Quietly.
I don't know what he's doing privately. I really don't. Unless he's going to meetings.
That's a good sign, right?
Unless he's going to meetings, then it's a limited time only operation to sell a book and then go back. Yeah, that's what happened with Matthew Perry. Came out, sold the book, went on tour, and got the money and went back to the hot tub.
Well, that's my worry. It's like you've talked about that before, that a lot of them, they go out on the book tour and then bad things happen. Is there a way that any of them ever, like do a book and it's not really a big deal because they don't go in depth on it?
No. They're
okay.
doing the book and the publisher, to give you the millions because you've used up all your money, the publisher demands for the $2 million advance the most salacious things you could possibly come up with to put in the book. That gives you the book deal. And the reason you're doing the book is because you need the money.
Right.
The real people don't need the money, hence they don't do the book. Okay. So once you see the book, memoir of so-and-so in the drug addiction world, I mean, there's plenty of normal people doing memoirs for money, having no effect on them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm talking about people who have a history of drug and alcohol abuse.
So if Robert Downey Jr. comes out with a book next year, then we got to be watching.
I don't think that's going to happen, but if it did, I would say the same thing.
I saw a clip of him recently, and it didn't seem like he was bragging about it, but he said something like he is a hotline number, like he's one of a handful of people who are a first responder to help people or something like that.
He's helped a lot of people like me. I mean, Robert's helped a ton of people.
So
he's helped a ton of people, Robert, to his credit. He's also an Oscar winner now, so that helps a lot too.
So he's paying it forward.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. Dr. Evil 814. Did you see, I did see that clip. Did you see Kevin
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. No, tell me what happened.
He was on with Abby Phillips, the one that Scott Jennings is on. Anyway, and he just said, it wasn't a really long clip. He just said, I gotta say, you're all just nuts. I think it was nuts or crazy. It was some variant of that. And they were like, it's just like, you're nuts. You're insane. This is funny. So yeah, I think that's probably.
Well, you see, the FCC is doing a deeper dive on The View, Eric.
They are. Oh, speaking of FCC and The View and equal time, Crockett has come out and said that Colbert was full of shit.
Yep.
When he said about the, she said that no, she actually did get a phone call from CBS and wasn't able to come on or something like that. So it sounds like he was trying to play games with the interview, but CBS, I'm sure Weiss is involved. I don't know if she deals with late night at all, but they're doing. She was
supposed to speak at this Daniel Pearl annual thing at UCLA, and Code Pink put so much pressure on the UCLA administrators that Barry Weiss and her security team had to pull the plug because they didn't feel comfortable enough to protect her after certain incidents have happened in other speaking engagements recently. So she had to bail out, but Code Pink celebrated as if they had driven out Satan from speaking at UCLA. You're only talking about the head of CBS News at this point is being prevented from speaking at UCLA. USC, I think it was USC said she's welcome to speak there. So we'll see what happens. She's a pariah. I mean, she's only the head of CBS News. This is crazy.
I know she might as well be Ben Shapiro.
Right.
No, I hate that so much because that's the heckler's veto.
Yeah.
Literally. And it is really frustrating. And I worry too that that's going to be the response to the Charlie Kirk assassination, as they can just say, no, look, somebody will get hurt. We have to shut it down.
They used it before Charlie Kirk, as you're aware. They did use it on
Milo Yiannopoulos and Ben Shapiro.
Right.
And
they have used it before for security reasons.
Sure.
But according to her security team, they did not feel comfortable anyway. So it was both. It was like, I think it was both.
Yeah. And then they wonder why there's echo chambers. It's like, well, if you're going to put somebody under threat every time you go there, then they're only going to go where they're safe, and where they're safe, it'll be like-minded people. And well, then what good is it all? It's sad. Let's see. John Springer said, I started reading the tariff ruling, but dozed off. Okay. Sorry. Question. So foreign dictators can now impose tariffs on us at will, and our president can't without going through the losers and grifters in Congress.
He's right, John. He's right.
Not completely, but yeah.
He's exaggerating for effect, but he's not that far off. I think this has to be resolved. They've made it 10 times worse, the Supreme Court.
They have, but there are like, for example, all the fentanyl tariffs stood.
Okay.
Any quote unquote security tariffs, fine. A protected industry, those are fine. So there is some that did stay in there. Let me see. Lisa. Oh, okay. Lisa D 9899 said, "Isn't Pratt running for mayor?"
He's running for mayor. Yeah.
Okay. I think I was maybe we were mixing.
Oh, we were
right.
We were talking about governor. You're right. She's right.
So,
sorry.
All right, Anthony in from Australia. I was missing you, Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony, what's going on, bro?
Got to be Trump's fault.
Got to be.
Thank you, Anthony. William Radcliffe, Clint Eastwood, and Paint Your Wagon. Ouch.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm happy to say I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
It's funny. My dad, of all people, he was a strange duck. Like he did not like musicals like me. He also hated comedies.
Really?
It's just,
I mean, if it sucks, it sucks. You're in a bad spot if it sucks.
Well, either way, he didn't like it.
It's a crapshoot. It is.
He hated science fiction, but his favorite movie of all time was Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
You know, a lot of people love that movie.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just like unlikely. That was his absolute favorite film. I've never seen it, but he loved that movie.
You got to be careful, because you could go onto a show like Viva did and just get savaged by the audience for 2 out of 3 films that he hated, Casablanca and 7 Days in May, and the people didn't agree with him, and they let him know it in the comment section.
Well, that's half the entertainment then.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. I mean, he's getting he's getting beaten up in the comment section.
Why does he hate them? They're too slow for him, or
they're much too slow. Yeah, they're much too slow.
I mean, the 70s movies compared to now, and obviously Casablanca is much before that, but just speaking like 70s, were
7 Days in May is 1964. So
that's true.
Yeah,
but they were slow burns back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like Bullet. Okay, Bullet is one of my favorite examples, because that car chase in Bullet is one of the most exciting car chases I've ever seen. It was amazing. The rest of the movie to me is boring as shit.
Oh, it's terrible. It's a terrible B. It's a terrible B movie. It's a terrible B movie.
Wonderful chase, but the rest of the movie is like, what?
Oh, we'll see what happens next week. We're doing Network because Robert Duvall's in it with Faye Dunaway and Peter Finch, and we'll see if he survives this one because Scarface he was okay with. He survived Scarface because that had violence and machine guns.
I hope so. God, that's a pretty
Look,
movie.
I don't know. I like all these films. I don't know what I don't know because he watches them the day before the show, so I don't know what his take is until he comes on, and then the people turn on him.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens next week.
That's astounding. Okay, well, we'll see. Might have to change it up and do something. Do like Tropic Thunder or something to see.
If we might have to put French Connection in there, or he suggested Hellraiser or Runaway Train, or he's got a whole list. He likes Hellraiser. I don't know.
That's a good movie.
The one with the pins in the face.
Yeah. Clive Barker, good author. Weird author, but anybody who's into that kind of thing, Clive Arthur wrote a book called The Great and Secret Show that is a really crazy premise and wild book about the dead letter office at the post office. And I always just love that scenario where somebody who worked in the dead letter office, where, where does mail go if, there's no recipient anywhere? He had this whole dead letter.
How about the obituary writers for Robert Duvall at the Washington Post? They were already dead. They died years ago.
They've done that before, apparently.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Years ago. The writers died years ago.
Yeah, which is kind of cool though to get the voice of that time. More of contemporaries and stuff.
I had a friend who died, and I called up the New York Times to have an obituary written, and I gave them all the information. They went, all right, that'll be $300. I went, what? And they said, yeah, unless he's been in the New York Times 3 times. I go, well, he has. So I said, thanks for asking. He was a famous director, but the guy was trying to get $300 out of me for an obituary of a Sundance Award winning director. And I thought he explained the rules to me, which I didn't know. I didn't know that going in. You got to be in there 3 times in your life to get a free obituary.
Okay. And he was in there 3 times?
Yeah.
So he did get it. Okay. Well,
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I wasn't, I loved him, but I wasn't going to pay for the obituary.
Okay.
That was a bridge too
Who
far.
is this person? Do you mind?
Joe Vasquez, who directed Hanging with the Homeboys and Bronx War and some other films.
Okay. Let's see. Charlie Tuna, 1966, says a reporter asked Trump if the Supreme Court is compromised. He said something like, just wait and see.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
He picked half these people himself, didn't he? Didn't he pick 3 of them?
He picked Barrett, not Alito, Gorsuch.
Roberts was Bush.
And Kavanaugh, right?
Yeah, Gorsuch.
Yeah, Kavanaugh he had to pick because
didn't he pick the Catholic chick?
Barrett. I said her first.
Oh, Barrett. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. And Kavanaugh, that was interesting because I think it was Souter who left, or anyway,
Souter retired.
It was an agreement. It was like, I will retire, but it's got to be this guy, and he went along, and it turned out a decent pick. I mean, Kavanaugh usually rules with Trump, most of the time. So I don't know. We'll see. But Alito, I'm not sure what's going on with that. I was surprised to hear that Alito is the one who's wanting to retire.
I thought it was Thomas who was starting to buckle.
Well, Thomas is getting up there. And people are a little worried.
87, Eric?
I don't even know. But yeah, it's an issue.
Put it this way. You don't want to leave, after the election. I mean, if you're going to go while Trump is still in office.
I agree. Well, I mean, they're going to be pulling out the Ruth Bader Ginsburg card here anytime. It's like, hey, don't do that.
You got 2 years to monkey around. You got till 2028 before
I don't know if you even have that long, because you can get a damn Democrat. They could lose the Senate, and then they're screwed, because who are you going to push through?
Oh, I see. Well, you're still going to have the right to pick them.
Of course, but if you can never confirm them, so it's like, Alito, if you're going to retire, get out. So we can get, somebody in there. And same with Thomas, in my opinion.
Okay.
Anyway, Al Gonzalez, it's 1975 New York City again. They just canceled 5,000 cops to be hired. Talk is Mamdani wants to raid pension reserves. By the way, Billy Idol is my cousin, Eric.
Well, that's a stretch. Gonzalez and Billy
Gonzalez?
Idol together. Wow. I think Idol played bagpipes on one album.
That would be amazing.
I think he whipped out the bagpipes at one point.
Billy Owl?
Yeah, Billy Aldo. The 5,000 cop thing, I meant to say something as long as Al's on the show. The LA police chief, to his credit, came out last week and said, we need 13,000 more cops for the Olympics. They offered him 412. And he said, this is not going to cut it. And this guy has never complained about anything. He's got the face of an alcoholic like I've never seen before. But this guy now looks like he's petrified because the Olympics are coming and the World Cup. And he said flat out, my estimation, we need 13,000 additional police at this time. And he's sticking with that number. They offered 400. So something's going to give here. Something's going to give. I think what they're going to do is take people from surrounding police forces for the extent of the Olympics.
Moonlighting, yeah. I mean,
yeah, moonlighting, yeah.
Probably do that.
Yeah.
And maybe some from the state.
Yeah.
And they come down. So, yeah. That can work. But either way, we are going to head over now to locals. Where I saw that there's a story behind that picture. A credit to the photographer. Apparently he lived up in the I think it's Norfolk area in England or what have you, but it was kind of an isolated police station. Not much was going on in or out, etc. He was there with some other reporters. They all sat there for like 7 hours just waiting, and nothing was happening at all. Nothing, period. And all the reporters left. He left. They were heading back to the hotel, and he got a phone call saying, hey, they're coming. And I guess a caravan came in to grab him, and he managed to get out there on the street and just hammered the button, like multiple times. That was the only picture that actually was in focus, because it was like just a rapid machine gun trying to get in. He happened, to capture the.
Here's the Hamas
picture.
Mickey Mouse who preaches the killing of Israeli Jews all the time.
Nice.
He will be losing his show if the Board of Peace has their way. In Gaza, he will no longer be the spokesperson for Hamas.
Okay, I think
the
that's
mouse
good.
has been there a long time.
They
have their own Muppets. They have their own Jew-hating Muppets. They have their own Jew-hating mouse. They've got a lot of these cartoon characters that start the kids off very early on Palestinian television.
They learned from USAID. Remember Iraqi Sesame Street?
Yep.
So great. Yeah, gotta indoctrinate the kids early. So we will continue this wonderful, loving discussion about politics in the Middle East and the world burning upside down in our peaceful, loving environment of locals. I hope to see you there.
I ought to. If I was half a man, I would do something about it.